Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed. Hashtag Irish Blues Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. Tonight is all smiley faces as we talk about the brilliant Bills win last Sunday against the Chiefs. I'm also going to go through Week 11 fixtures and, the results and talk about the games as we go along. But tonight's show, we're going to have a bit of a chat about what was an amazing, exciting, brilliant victory over the Super Bowl champions, the team that's going for the three-peat, the team that people thought that we wouldn't be able to compete against. And it is just nice to smile and say, well, we knew it, and that's all that matters. So tonight, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the games. I'm going to talk about a small bit about each. I'm not going to spend long on them. And then I'm going to talk about the Bills and the Chiefs and my takes from it. And not so much my takes from the game, but from others and how the bandwagons or bandwagoners are now starting to jump on the Buffalo Bills. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Also tonight, I'm running a competition. So I've put up a tweet on Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, of you could win Irish Blues Mafia mug and keyring. So over the next three shows, I'm going to ask a question at any stage in the show. I'm also going to give the answer. So basically, at the end of it, the person who has all three answers, just to DM them to me, and when I give the closing date, so the next three episodes should be Tuesday, tonight, Thursday, and Tuesday. So by next Thursday, it'll be the closing date. And then once I have all the people that's in the competition, I'm going to put out three names, and they'll each receive Irish Blues Mafia mug and keyring, and they should be there before Christmas to have a nice hot cup of coffee, tea, chocolate, whatever, on Christmas morning. So anyway, folks, let's get on with the show. So the first game that was on was Thursday night, was the Commanders at the Eagles. The Commanders, they're kind of coming off the train tracks a little bit. They lost 18-26. The Eagles, I only seen highlights of it, were outstanding, but they were very good. They got at Jaden Daniels. They didn't let him play his game. Saquon Barkley was outstanding again. The Giants must be absolutely kicking themselves because Saquon Barkley's having a brilliant season. And now it could be the setup. It probably is the setup because he has an offensive line that can make gaps for him. He can play. He has a quarterback that can throw him the ball and make plays as well. That is not all on him and Jalen Hurts. And the New York Giants, well, they're just a stone that's sinking. But we'll get to them in a few minutes. But the Eagles won, and fair play, and they move on now. They're top of that division, and they have a game and a half lead over the Commanders. But I think they play again in a few weeks. So if the Commanders win it back, then it'll tighten things up again. Then on Sunday, we had the Packers at the Bears. Now, the Bears, well, Matt Eberflus is under fierce pressure, and he can't do anything right. It was 2019, last kick of the game. Bears could kick it to win it. It'd be their first win in 11, and the field goal gets tipped, not fully blocked, tipped, and it doesn't happen. And the Packers win 20-19. And, you hear people saying to Matt Eberflus, well, why didn't you work it in closer? And then I heard a stat last night that the kicker has had 0 misses inside 40 yards, but has only a lower kick rate outside 40 yards. At the end of the day, call a spade a spade. The man got his fingers to the ball. It didn't matter if he was 20 yards out or 100 yards out. Once the tip came on the ball, it wasn't going over the bar. So I would put that on the offensive line, letting the blocker get the block, more so on the kicker. And I wouldn't be blaming Matt Eberflus, but he's, I'm afraid, on a heightened to nothing. So the best thing he can do if he doesn't make the playoffs is get out of there as quick as he can, because he will be put out of there. As for the Packers, they move on. They weren't brilliant. Jordan Love wasn't brilliant, but they got the win, and they're keeping on the coattails of the Lions and the Vikings at the minute in the NFC North. The Bears, they look like they're going to be number 4, but there's a few games to play yet. Stranger things have happened. Then the Jaguar at the Lions. Well, this game should have been blown up at half-time. The Jaguars won 52-6. Or sorry, the Lions won 52-6, excuse me. What can you say about the Lions? Dan Campbell's team is firing on all cylinders. Defense, offense, everything. Jared Goff was absolutely perfect the last day. Amon-Ra St. Brown was playing brilliant. Montgomery, Gibbs, the whole lot. They were just they're one of the best teams in the Super Bowl or in the NFL at the minute. And call a spade a spade. Dan Campbell has brought this team to where it is, and Dan Campbell deserves an awful lot of credit. But this Detroit Lions team is the serious team that's going to challenge anyone to win the Super Bowl this coming year. As for the Jaguars, Doug Peterson, I don't know, will he get many more games or will he get the season? But Mac Jones and co didn't do him any help. Their team now is just waiting for the end of the season and go on their holidays and see who's back and who's not next year. And I don't know, will Doug Peterson be back next year? Then we had the Dolphins at the Raiders. The Dolphins won 34-19. Tua was brilliant again. It's just, I'm not, look, I don't care about the Dolphins winning or losing. They're not a team I like because I only like one and the rest are all the same to me in my eyes. But for Tua's sake, I am happy and he's fit and he's healthy and he has shown Miami and he's shown the NFL that he was the reason Miami were winning games. They mightn't have won all their games, but he was the reason they were winning them. Tyreek Hill is playing better. Waddle is playing. HN, Mozart, all them guys, like when they have Tua, they're a different team. And will they make the playoffs? Well, it'll be a big ask. But they're the only team out there in the AFC East that's actually trying to win games at the minute, other than ourselves. So they won. The Raiders, well, again, they're like the Jags. They'll play out the rest of the season, but there's nothing for them now. It's over. Then you had the Rams and the Patriots. After seeing the Rams on Monday night against the Dolphins, I thought the Patriots would beat them. Not because the Patriots are brilliant, but the Rams were awful on Monday night. And they just go on. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp have 3 touchdowns between them. Puka Nacua has a Superman catch. Matthew Stafford's on fire. Their defense is on fire. Shuts down the Patriots, and they win 28-22. Drake May wasn't awful, but they got to him. They couldn't get near 2 at the on Monday night, but they got to Drake May, and the Rams got the win. And it's a funny division, that NFC West. There's one team on 6-4, and there's 3 teams on 5-5. So the Rams ain't out of it yet. But it was a different Rams team. But if they could have put half of that into the Dolphins game on the previous Monday, you would know they could be 6-4 themselves. But they're not. But they got the win, and it was like Puka's catch was unbelievable. But he got hurt after from the way he landed, but it didn't stop him. They still played very well, and Cooper Kupp was exceptional that day too. Then you had the Browns at the Saints. This game was at 14 all at one stage. The Saints won 35-14. All I'm going to say much about this game was Jameson Winston went back to his old stomping ground and was stunk, as did the Browns. And Taysom Hill had an absolute stormer. He did everything, including I think he threw an interception as well, but all his other plays, he ran, he caught, he threw touchdowns and passes, and he is a player that the Saints should use more of because he's a different type of player. He's not a quarterback, but he is a quarterback. He's not a tight end or blocker, but he is. He's not a wide receiver or catcher, but he can be, and he can also be a running back. So like he can do anything. And he's also a returner now, I see. Then we had one of the games of the weekend, not for the life of the game, but for the 2 teams that were playing. It was the AFC North and the lead in it. It was the Ravens 7-3. It was the Steelers 7-2. One of them was going to 8 and one was going to 4. And the Ravens came up short. And Steelers won 18-16. And it was just hell for leather, bait each other. That's how I look at it. The Steelers kicked 6 field goals. Lamar Jackson wasn't at the races. The Steelers' defense didn't let him get to the races. Derrick Henry ran the ball only 13 times. It was 16-18. The Ravens had scored a touchdown. They went for 2 points. Derrick Henry was on the sideline, and they just shut down Lamar Jackson because they knew he wasn't going to throw it. He was going to run it, and they cut him out with 1 minute and 6 seconds left, and they won the game. And it wasn't that Russell Wilson and the offense of the Steelers were brilliant, but they kicked 6 field goals. But it was that the Ravens missed 2 field goals, and it was very unusual for Justin Tucker to miss them, but he did. And they lost the game, and they're 7-4, and the Steelers are 8-2, and they look like they're going to win the division now. Then we move on to the Vikings of the Titans. Not a lot to say about this. The Vikings won 23-13. They stay on the coattails of the Detroit Lions, and they keep ahead of the Green Bay Packers. But I think they're meeting now fairly soon. Sam Darnold is still getting the job done. Justin Jefferson is playing well. The rest of the team are doing well. And as for the Titans, well, they did put up a bit of a fight, but I think their season is now over as well for a lot of teams. Then we come to the Indianapolis Colts with the New York Jets. I picked the Jets to win this. I must have been on cloud cuckoo land. They lost 28-27, but they threw it away. And to be honest, I'll talk about them in a few minutes, but they're a bit of a joke. The whole setup is a bit of a joke. Anthony Richardson came back for the Colts at the weekend, and he played very, very well. Very well. Let's hope that was a blip with him looking for a timeout and taking a break, because he is and can be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but he played very well at the weekend, and they got their win and keeps them kind of alive in the playoff hunt. The Jets were the team that was supposed to win the AFC East. Well, they're the team that's probably going to finish bottom of the AFC East now, and I'm not sorry. I'll talk about them in a few minutes because I have a little piece that I want to get off my chest after we talk about all the good news. Then we have the Falcons and the Broncos. The Falcons got hammered, 38-6. I picked the Broncos to win. I just fancy them. I just think the Falcons, they're too much hit and miss, but this is the first time they've been really hammered. And it's the wrong time of a season for that to be coming. Their offense didn't look like at the races. Their defense didn't look at the races. Kirk Cousins was awful. Bo Nix, on the other hand, looked like a world beater, and so did the Denver Broncos. And their offense and defense all played well, and they didn't sulk after the Chiefs lost the weekend before. They, kicked on the Falcons. They're lucky they're ahead in their division, and they're lucky their division is one of the poorest in the NFL. Then we had the Seahawks at the 49ers. Now, the Seahawks won 2017. Geno Smith ran in a touchdown with 12 seconds to go. On the day, from what the highlights I've seen of it, they deserved it. What's going on with the 49ers? They were without George Kittle. I know Brandon Ayuk is out for the season, but they should be head and shoulders ahead of that Seahawks team. And Christian McCaffrey's back, and I know Christian isn't at full pace yet, but they have Deebo Samuel. They have other ones to throw balls to. They have other runners that can make runs. They have a defense that didn't turn up at the weekend, not to the high standards that they're used to. And that last touchdown that Geno Smith got, he basically went in untouched. And the only thing with that NFC West division is the 49ers, even though they're 1-3 in the division and they're bottom of it right now in games, but they're still only one game off top. So if they got a run together, they can still, win that division. As the Seahawks are leading that division, or second in that division, excuse me. Seahawks are second in that division. The Cardinals are leading that division by a game. Like it's winnable for them. They're still not out, but they're 5-5, and I couldn't see that to start the year. And their next game is against us, so bring them on. And now we come to the highlight of the weekend. So it's the Chiefs at the Bills. So let me paint the picture. For a lot of people outside of us Buffalo Bills fans, this was a win for the Chiefs. Mahomes was getting things back in action. Kelsey, they have Worthy, they had Hopkins. Pacheco wasn't back, but they had Kareem Hunt. And their defense is one of the meanest defenses in the NFL. Going into Sunday, I believe we would have beaten them, or beat them. I believed it for a few reasons. Yes, we haven't set the world alight in certain games, but we've always set the world alight in parts of games, where the Chiefs very rarely have this year. And when we click, we will take tea with anyone or coffee, whatever your favorite drink is, or hot chocolate. It doesn't matter, but we will take it with anyone. And our defense went out and they made a statement on the first play. And once that statement was made, our offense made a statement on the second play. Now, Josh Allen, we all know how good Josh Allen is, us Bills fans. But people outside weren't paying a blind bit of heed to Josh Allen. Very few of them was. Now, Rex Ryan was, in fairness to him. Rex Ryan on ESPN has been singing Josh Allen's praises for all year, and he has been singing them for years. But very few other than him have. Now everyone is. Okay. Josh Allen was amazing at the weekend, but so was our defense. I'm going to give credit and I'm going to leave players out, but I have them wrote down here. Our defense, DeMar Hamlin, Christian Binford, Cam Lewis, Austin Johnson, A.J. Epinesa, Von Miller, Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard had a sack and an interception. He was amazing. Tyler Rapp, he had also an interception. Greg Rousseau was brilliant. He put the pressure on so much. He came in off that edge so much. And AJ Panessa did on the other side, but Gregory Rousseau was awesome. Jordan Phillips, Rasul Douglas was amazing. I like the way he got the crowd going, the way he was in the game. He was really up for it. Dorian Williams and Daquan Jones. And if I've left any players out, I apologize, but that defense was outstanding. Going to our offense, Josh Allen was 27 for 40, 262 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception wasn't brilliant, but it was, Mahomes had 2 interceptions. He minded the ball. He didn't do anything stupid. The passes that were outstanding, one was to Dawson Knox, 2 was to Amari Cooper. Like they were on a dime. They were brilliant passes. Then you had his rushing game. He ran 12 times for 55 yards, had 1 touchdown. The 26-yard touchdown is as good a touchdown as the NFL has seen in years from a quarterback. It was 4th and 2. It was kick the 3 points or attempt to kick the 3 points and give the ball back to the Chiefs either 2 points up or 5 points up with time left, or it was kill the game. And fair play to Sean McDermott. He made the decision to go for it, and then the rest was left to the man. I have said this since I came on this podcast, and I'm going to say it until I stop this and well after it. And I know when I'm going to stop it. But Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL, bar none. Okay, bar none. Not bar Mahomes, not bar Burrow, or Lamar Jackson, or Brock Purdy, or any of them guys. Bar none. And Josh Allen put together a game last weekend that no team will live with. And I'm not getting carried away. I'm not looking 3 games ahead, 5 games ahead. I'm not looking to the playoffs. I'm just looking at the now. And the right now is he is MVP. He is MVP by a country mile. And the Buffalo Bills are a serious team to win the Super Bowl this year. Now, we'll have our bye this coming week. And then we'll have the San Francisco 49ers, and we're not looking past that. But going off last weekend, Mahomes can come again in January. I don't care. Or we can go to Mahomes. Mahomes and his team doesn't fear me. Doesn't put fear in me. They are a team that, congratulations to them, have 2 Super Bowls. Well done. But that's as far as they're going. And unless they pull some rabbits out of the hat, they ain't going any further, because their offense will let them down. Their offensive line will let them down. Their defense is very good. Mahomes is very good. Kelsey ain't at the races this year. I no disrespect. He's a very good footballer. He has 3 Super Bowls. But he was marked out last weekend, and teams will learn that. Xavier Worthy is a very good wide receiver and will be in a year or two's time, but he's still coming out of college and he's still very raw. And he has made not just a mistake at the weekend, but he's made mistakes in other games for them as well. DeAndre Hopkins, if they had him 5 years ago, they would have been sorted. But he will win games, but he will not be the player to show up for every game. Now, Pacheco coming back will help them with Kareem Hunt as their running game. But again, if they get shut down, they haven't a lot of options. So all I can say is, as a Bills fan, I was chuffed at the weekend, really chuffed, really happy. The smile is still on my face. Like, we beat the team that, people were saying will go undefeated. We weren't given much of a chance. It is great to hear all the people, and I hear them now, that I seen podcasts goes up this week in my own country here, and now it's Josh Allen on the cover of it. Josh Allen, Josh Allen. And it took them 11 weeks to realize how good Josh Allen is. You know, he didn't just do it overnight. Josh Allen has been doing that all the time. And it's the same in America. Now we're one of the 4 teams that can win the Super Bowl with the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Lions. Like, that's great, but we're not getting carried away. We enjoy the victory. I enjoyed the victory. I keep watching video of that touchdown, the plays, the interceptions, Terrell Burner's interception, Taylor Rapp's interception at the start of the game. That was very important. That was the one that set the tone. Von Miller's sack. It was great to see Von Miller get back and get into sack. He was also joined by Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau was there as well. They went for the Chiefs. They smothered the Chiefs and they stopped the Chiefs. And yes, it's a regular season game, but Von Miller has said it is a statement game, and it is a statement game. It's a statement game to say the Buffalo Bills are here. You wrote us off. You all wrote us off because we got rid of, our troublemakers. Well, the troublemakers are gone. It's Josh Allen's team. It's Sean McDermott's team. The defense know what they're doing. They're getting better at every game. And our offense is improving. And we have Keon Coleman to come back. And we have Matt Milano to come back. So these are players that, we get them fit, we get them back. It gives us more options. It helps Amari Cooper. He was injured the last day and he still played, and he was exceptional. Kahil Shakir, brilliant. Amari Cooper, brilliant. James Cook, brilliant. Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, brilliant. Dawson Locks, 4 from 6, caught a massive catch when he was needed to. Brilliant. Like Curtis Samuel and Matt Collins, fair play. Fair play. 2 boys that, there is expectations of them, but the other lads took the highlights from them. But when they come out in the biggest game, Matt Collins has turned up the last 3 or 4 games, has been brilliant. Curtis Samuel got his touchdown. He was brilliant as well in the whole game. Like, Curtis Samuel had 5 from 6 for 58 yards and a touchdown. That's the Curtis Samuel we want, and he's now coming. And this team is please God, stay fit, is going to get better. So, happy days, Bills fans. We are very happy. I'll move on. Then there was 2 games left. There was a Sunday night game, the Bengals at the Chargers. What can I say? Joey B. I feel sorry for you. Jamar Chase, he was asked about the last play. He wasn't very happy. He said, I don't make the decisions the coaches do. They missed 2 field goals. The Chargers won 34-27, but they mightn't have got the chance to win the game if the field goals had gone over. And Justin Herbert and the Chargers did everything. But they did let a 21-point lead go. But the Bengals couldn't finish the game. Their season is over. It's hanging by a thread, and the thread is what it's hanging by. Joe Burrow's playing brilliant football, but Joe Burrow is not going to be in the playoffs. And it's sad, but, Taylor is going to have a lot to answer for as the head coach. And will he be there next year? Only time will tell. They will lose key pieces this year with their rookie contracts finishing and them having to pay players. They've paid Joe Burrow. If they're going to keep Jamar Chase, then T. Higgins is going to go. It won't be the same Bengals team next year, and they still don't have a defense. Then the Monday night game was the Texans at the Cowboys. Well, let's put it this way. The Texans won 34-10. Joe Mixon was brilliant. The Texans were easily brilliant because they're playing a team that doesn't even want to care, doesn't even want to try, have nothing. They've already accepted their season is over. Like, if you had gone to paid to go to the Dallas Cowboy games, you haven't even seen a victory this year. I feel sorry for the Cowboys fans, the genuine fans that go there to shout and roar and follow their team, and they get that. 34-10 is abysmal. It doesn't matter if they have a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush has won games before for the Cowboys. He is a good quarterback. It's just their team don't care and they're on holidays. And that is the games from the week, folks. There's just a couple of things I want to talk about before I go. I won't stay on too long because it's a very cold night here. So I have a little thing done. Who's the biggest joke in the NFL? What teams? And joke, I don't mean funny or ha-ha. I just mean teams that had huge aspirations and don't even come close. And two of them I've talked about earlier, and here they are, the New York Jets and the Dallas Cowboys. And that's no shock. But like Jerry Jones went on today and said, well, since the 1990s, his team is the sixth most winningest team in the NFL. And they're also probably the richest team with their support. His facts were incorrect because Molly from First Take on ESPN pointed out their research is the 11th most winningest team in the NFL since the 90s. So that really, shows where Jerry Jones is. If he's happy with that, then they're never going to win a Super Bowl. They're just going to take money from people, bring them there and let them watch other teams destroy them and humiliate them, and their fans will eventually get sick of it, even though it's a beautiful place, beautiful stadium, and they have looked after it that way. They have no clue how to run the organization. Here's joke number two. Woody Johnson on the New York Jets. They just sacked Joe Douglas today at their GM. So they sacked Robert Saleh last month. Joe Douglas goes today. And this is all because they're listening to their quarterback. And their quarterback, I'm sorry, Woody, is past it. The quarterback ain't good enough. It's time to get rid of him. And get rid of whatever he brought there with him, because it's toxic. No more than the Dallas Cowboys in a different way is toxic. And both teams, unless they change dramatically, will be toxic bad for a while to come. And I heard a few days ago that Aaron Rodgers believes he'll be the quarterback for 2025. Well, if you're going to put up with that, Jets fans, you're going to have another year of bottom of the AFC East. That's all I'm going to say. And that is my show for tonight. So here's my question. My question one in the competition is, what number does Josh Allen wear? Answer number 17. Write it down, keep it. And when I give question 2 Thursday night and question 3 on next Tuesday night, DM me all 3 answers and you're in the draw to win an Irish Bills Mafia mug or keyring. Mug and keyring, excuse me. Not mug or. Mug and keyring. So that's my show for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. It's like we've won other games, and I've been to see the Buffalo Bills in real life in Highmark Stadium and so many highs, but the high for me was that 26-yard touchdown. The man, Superman, when Superman was needed for the Buffalo Bills, Superman turned up, Superman Josh Allen. And with that, I'm going to say good night, stay safe, stay happy, stay together, and always, my friends, go Bills.